Alright, so we're back down at this lake, and I'm going to go for a bit of a float. I've been given a request to go and check out whether it says some fence lines are still intact or not, because it's a very difficult bit to get to. So I'm going to have a float, check out the fence lines, and then we'll get out of here. Looks like we're going to get wet soon anyway. Bit of a lazy day, but it's interesting. Anyway, let's get on with it. Alright, I had to make an unscheduled stop, hence why that has moved. A couple of things I need to do. My GPS batteries have gone flat. Whack a couple of brand newies in there. I think I've got some in my kit here. And we're going to muck around with a winch. I have one new one. That's not helpful though. Maybe I've got some on my emergency kit. Alright, so I appear to have packed lots of AAAs in here, which is good because they run my emergency beacon, but only one AA. Alright, well I don't really need that GPS, so I'll keep that unless I'm really desperate, but I have a couple of redundant options for getting my position and whatnot out. I'm going to get my anchor ready to go because remember last time here anchor was a bit of an issue. And then I'm going to wind the winch out so that I can get to it without having to lean over the front and sink myself. I think we've got some rain on the way because the barometric pressure is changing, and that makes my nose run. So let's wind you out a bit. I could just freewheel it, but this tells me that the winch works. I probably need to whack a bit of chain oil on it. Alright. This will be handy because it means that if I get stuck or I've got to winch myself up onto a bank, I can just attach the bone anchor from the cabin. Now, winch controller I'm going to snap onto there so I don't lose it. In case I fall in here and this sinks, I'm going to snap the spot onto me. Alright. Check that our outboard works. Right, now we can get into the water. If I'm lucky, this will be a nice shallow entry. Alright, now we're floating. Alright, this is the tricky bit. I got bogged there last time. There's also a lot more water in it. I reckon we'll try this side. Now the risk of getting bogged here is I don't know how deep it is through here. And it's eroded out since I was last through here, so it could be a winch job. See how we go. Let's hope I don't hit a sharp bank and tip myself out or something crazy. There's a lot more water through here. Might be floating over the top of what we were on last time. Now I see some grass, which means there's shallows there. Just idle our way through. I think that the water's high enough up that we're over the shallows. Once I know I'm in the deep stuff, I'll go back onto the prop. There's some more grass up there. We're going to navigate away from that, because this is the sketchy bit. Alright. Definitely got chain rattle down there. I'll have to get that tensioner sorted. I think I'm through the worst bit. We can probably go off now and run outboard. Definitely got rain on the way. My nose is doing its thing whenever the barometric pressure changes rapidly. The stupid lever on that button is useless. Here we go, forwards. On we go. Alright, we'll see you in a bit. Well, pretty much a lake rather than a swamp at the moment. There's some of the fence I'm looking for. We'll find out if my prop hits it soon. Some of the other fence is still in the water, and there's another bit of it over there, so I think we're going to float right over the top of a fence line. We'll find out pretty quickly if I need a spare prop. There's a little island thingy up there. I might go as far as that and then head back, because I know there's a couple of kilometres of this up here and it's all pretty much underwater. There's no real sloppy lake, no real sort of sloppy mud stuff or anything. Been a lot of water. This is normally all dry salt lake. I haven't seen one of you guys in a while. Come out to check me out, hey? It's an alarm call, so clearly I'm strange here. You don't really often see boats or anything up here, so most of the wildlife's a bit weirded out by me. There's a little patch of something there that could be a... yeah, there's markers out here. I think that's a marker that's completely underwater. So that means there's probably about 1.5 meters of water right there. I'm seeing a metric shit ton of swans up there. We need to probably divert around this. Yeah, there's lots of swans on that island over there. I think I'll get close enough to take a couple of photos, and then I'm going to double back. Let's go around you. There's a bit of crosswind that's pushing me into it. Anyway, see you at the island. Alright, so you know how I said that was a marker? Well, I just ran aground. Alright, so let's see if full reverse will get me off this. No, I ran myself aground good. Alright, let's see if tyres will get me off. Pull you up a little bit. Yeah, so there's definitely been a lot of water. We're on what would normally be ground. Out here, here we go. That was an easy one to get out of. Alright. It's a little bit unreliable, the depth here. Let's back ourselves up. I don't think I'm going to get to that island with any ease. Because yeah, there's old post and rail fences through here. So let's bring ourselves around a bit. Yeah, I think I'm going to turn around because normally that's all grassy area, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be lots of little ups and downs. There's going to be a lot of hard work. You know what? I could scoot across to the opposite bank. Although that is the adjacent neighbour's property. I don't have permission there. I do on that side. And that side's full of fence lines, so trespassing something I'm not here to do today. Although I think I'm going to scoot back around this way. This is only a short little reconnaissance trip. And yeah, the fence lines are submerged for sure. I need to get hold of the landowner on that side and see if he'll let me cruise around down here. If they will, make this job a lot easier. Well, I know the landowner on that side, and I'm pretty sure he knows who owns that one, so talk to one guy, he can talk to the other guy, and we'll come up with an answer. Then I might have a more interesting video. One of these days I'll get right up to the end of the lake. I'm also looking at these clouds, and I'm thinking that I could be taking on a bit of water in about probably in the next 20-30 minutes. Alright, let's go back down the other side. So ironically, the wind has changed direction slightly. I had a bit of a headwind coming in, and now I've got a headwind going out. So hopefully I've got enough guts in this battery, although it's a 135 amp hour deep cycle. It's got to be worth bringing 40 kilos worth of battery. But yeah, what are we looking at? 11.9, we're loads, we'll be fine. 11.9 volts under load is a good effort. I did charge this thing up last night, so that's where we want to be. But we've got to take a little detour around all the sloppy underground, hard to see stuff. This area would be a lot more navigable if the water wasn't like bloody black tea. Now I could probably actually just hop up on the bank there and scoot myself up along there. You know what, we might, although it looks are a little deceptive because just below that there's a really like square sharp drop off. I could practice the winch bloody method, but I don't really feel like that today. If I just stay the course, I'll get out this way. I may still have to winch myself anyway, and I can hear my buddy Rocco laughing in the background telling me to get tracks. But we have done that argument to death, so I'll leave that conversation right there. Actually, you know what? I will add a bit more to the track argument. He's probably right. Tracks would certainly make it a lot more capable vehicle. But I'm also lazy. And I like to drive in the water and drive out without having to do any changeover and sit in the back and do this. I like to sit in the front and just cruise my way along. I am thinking about getting a couple of thrusters here and hook them up with some micro switches on the sticks there, so that I can get differential drive and I can sit in the front and whack my battery in the back and get the balance right, so I can just drive in and thrust my way through the water. But and then tracks wouldn't be too much of a problem then. But anyway, all of this goes with having multiple sclerosis, which means that there are days when I am capable of stuff and days where I am not. And I'm trying to set this up so there is minimum effort as possible. And yes, I can hear Rocco in the background going, well, get tracks then, you won't have to stop and get out. There's pros and cons for both. The con being, tracks are bloody expensive. Anyway, we've still got a little bit of mucking around. It's slow going in the wind, so we'll see us when we're a bit further up. Alright, so bit of grass here, we're into the shallows again. At least it actually used to be the bank, I think. It's hard to tell when the water's this high. I can tell from all the junk and the bits of floating wood over there. I have actually driven across that when it's been dry. But yeah, I'm just expecting to run aground any point here. Once we're through all this, it'll be time to do GoPro battery change, because I've done quite a bit with them today. Now, grassy bit, that's a section of the island there. That's the edge of the island right there. The tiny little tuft of grass sticking out. We need to detour around, because I'm operating mostly on memory here as to what it's like underneath, and my outboard just stopped because I stood on the Anderson plug. Need to find a better solution to this. Let's go here. Okay, where are we? Getting a little bit too close to the bank for my liking. Get me away from that stuff, because there's a really square, sharp bank under that that's likely to put me at an less than advantageous angle. I don't fancy taking on water. I don't really fancy getting wet today, actually. Normally it wouldn't bother me. It's getting towards the end of the day and I kind of had enough. I saw a fish in there. I wonder what kind of fish lives in this briny, salty pea soup or tea. Probably carp. They live in just about freaking everything. Yeah, where I got stuck was just on the other side of this island last time. Then when I reversed out, the current was all going out that way, and rather strongly. I ended up shortcutting across that island, which, well, is an island at the moment, but normally is not. Alright. Yeah, no, there's definitely extra water here. So normally the bank is pretty much right there. There's probably about an extra half a foot of water through there. And all the usual junk that floats up. Whenever I'm here, I try and pick up as much of this junk as I can and take it out. But I kind of risk getting myself in some sort of unknown strife in there. Well, and I know my buddy Rocco again would say, get tracks and you won't do. That's fair enough, but I don't have tracks right now. I don't think it's worth the expenditure of tracks to go and get a couple of things like an old milk bottle and an old whatever that is. Oh, come on. I think I got the dicky switch. Bit of choke. We'll cut you up there. Chuck you back over there. Ah. I got a couple of flat batteries to change apparently. Alright, now I got to do the helmet cam.